So I wanted to try something a little different with all the runs in Mewgenics here. And this one particular cat ended up with a pretty special set of skills. Very particular set of skills. Got a little bit of a extra passive from its mother. The hunter passive, what was that? Sniper shot? Something along those lines? I don't remember off the top of my head. But it also inherited her psychosis. So this cat, after the first turn, is going to take all its turns automatically. I no longer have control. So I'm pretty much just in the turn. Just kind of want to see how things play out, right? And this is the first turn. I was really curious how this would go. It's really good to run tank solo. It's not that difficult. All that extra constitution really pays off very quickly. And on top of that, I also chose a couple of different items that would aid in the special abilities. For some reason, it gets really obsessed with wet hairball here. I don't know what that is. I guess it's because it's the only range attack and it doesn't have enough movement to get anything else done. So the AI absolutely loves wet hairball. Probably one of the worst abilities that this cat has on it, but it's gonna do what it's gonna do. But as far as equipment goes, I went with the Therming Circlet to give, let me see here, I got notes I gotta check out. Don't use your basic in a turn, then you get 1 damage and a set of thorns. Oh, here, before we get to that, I'm looking at what to take. I was hoping to find something that would cover up that ridiculous wet hairball passive. And I can't remember how well it worked. But as I said, I mean, that's just gonna do. So I went with the trample. Something to hopefully give it movement and get it closer to the enemies. Events, there's not a whole lot of choice you had there. I could have ignored it, but at this point I was like, what the fuck ever. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. So let's let it run. Little did I know. But anyway, yeah, so I went with the Therming Circlet, get that little extra additional damage and whatnot. I also added Pound of Flesh. You gain 1 damage when on kill, and it also gives a bonus damage. Then I had Human Face. Give me extra constitution at the cost of 1 charisma. And then it would also give my base attack 25% chance to fear, which I kind of figured, whatever, might as well. But really, the spawns of food at the beginning of the turn, I was really hoping to provide myself with as many healing opportunities as possible. Because even with the high constitution, it can only do so much, I also threw on the Jite. That is a very, very strong item to be so common, and a great Magic the Gathering reference. Here I had to cut the sound because I thought it was going to be boring, and I ended up watching another streamer, another content creator play Mewgenics. Funny thing is, coincidentally, they ended up getting a psychosis run, and they were complaining about it. It was in the middle of a run, though. Little different circumstances. I knew what I was getting into, and I could plan for it. Namely, not taking any other characters with me, and just letting the little Miss Kitty here. Excuse me, little Mrs. Kitty. Let her take care of business. But yeah, I mean, already suplexing everything, taking out corpses. She's kicking ass. It was off to a really good start. It's taken a little time, 6 rounds and all, but it is what it is. This one was rough. This one was where I really was scared. These passes are terrible. She already has 2 passives, Miss Kitty here. So I went with a little health up, or excuse me, strength up, and the full heal. That just seemed like a better way to go about it, right? Items. I like the items that I set right off rip. So no change there. Again, events, man. You just gotta do what you gotta do. Pick your best stat and go. That's not always the case. I think as people get more game knowledge and they know like what the events do, they'll switch things up and try to, you know, even if you get a bad event, a bad result on an event, you can still game it a little bit and get something out of it, you know? This is the first like true challenge, right? So I did try to be a little more careful. I did try to send Miss Kitty into a grass patch to keep her a little safe. And Lucy, as well voice acted as she is a menace. Absolutely just starts popping off. Did restore the technology. Oh, that's right. I took technology too for a little extra range. Just because I figured, you know, tank needs to be up close and personal. It'd be nice to have a little something cooking. But yeah, the tank did not make great decisions. It kept using a lot of just bad abilities, especially the wet hairball. The wet hairball was killing me. So much mana on something so useless. 7 mana for a wet hairball. But I mean, I see the reasoning the game chose that. You know, punch her, and it knocks her out of range, so then wet hairball to actually get a hit in. Sorry, I had to deal with my in IRL Mewgenics kitty. Anyway, so yeah, we're still kicking the shit. Well, excuse me, getting the shit kicked out of us here. Got real lucky. She's freezing a bunch of ice or grass patches. Just absolutely whipping ass here. Just freezing and burning, a true master of the elements, this Lucy. Rocking an MC Thunder at every opportunity. I really loved the MC Thunder, actually. It gave a much better shot at taking her out. I also love the little baby applause at the end. It's like one person is just politely applauding your 7-round win. When it finally connected that I had that hunter passive, I started focusing a little bit here on luck, just to hopefully get some big damage on some of these hits and have a chance to take them out. You know, take things out quickly before I get overwhelmed. Well, I'm not doing shit. Miss Kitty is the one doing all the work. But yeah, again, I'm not really putting in too much effort on my first turn. Maybe try to put her somewhere a little safe and then hope for the best. Especially after that taking all that damage on Lucy. Oh wait, no, it didn't matter because we got a full heal after that. So yeah, no, that wasn't a big deal. I think there is at least one fight where I was very scared afterward, but we'll see that here very soon. Yeah, just gotta love the suplex. That's interesting. Did that kill the one? I think that killed the kitten that was standing, but not the one that actually got suplexed. That's actually kind of nuts. But yeah, these kittens, I really wasn't too worried about the kitten fight. A lot of single damage. There's the thorns actually getting something done. I was glad to see that. I actually really love taking the tanks and putting thorns, either bleeding thorns or regular thorns on them. Because it does a lot. Get her with the G-Tate? Nope. Still no luck. Miss Kitty is still trying. Using all the tools at her disposal and trying to get the job. There it is. Big suplex. Not bad either. 4-round victory. Some people can't pull that off with a full set of cats. Here was another rough one. This might have been when I thought that it was a no-go, right? I ended up going to eat rock. I'll tell you that much. After a little reflection, I think Goad probably would have been the best choice, and it would have stopped the nonsense with the hairball to give an actual useful ability that would, you know, bring him into range, and then Miss Kitty could put the work on him. I mean, even though it's a Psycho run, you always buy your rare candy. Edmund himself, I considered upgrading Wet Airball. Edmund himself even mentions that the game was originally designed around having an extra level up, like an extra combat node between the start and the end. So you're actually really losing out if you don't always get that rare candy. Just a little side note. This was the second real challenge. I have no idea how the AI is going to react to these bombs, right? Like, it doesn't take much. Miss Kitty can only handle, what? She can live through 4 of those bombs, but if they get the right crisscross pattern, you're going to take that in no time. But she did a good job dodging them. Or wait, no, I put her there, actually. Or did I? I don't even remember now. But, yeah. Yeah, I didn't really put a whole lot of effort into these early matches. Let's see here. Oh. Yep. Just suplexing the shit out of some bombs. Catch yourself on fire. All for a technology shot. 4 damage. And then the fucking hairballs. The hairballs are such a disaster. I was really concerned at how many hairballs this cat's launching. Somebody should actually take them to the vet. Never mind their psychosis. The wet hairballs are what the real issue is. But yeah, once again, just taking out those bombs. Just bomb after bomb. Radical Rat's taking a little bit of fire damage though. And honestly, an extra explosion there was super beneficial though, right? Not having to deal with yet another bomb made quite a difference. There you go. The good news is, Radical Rat is not good at avoiding the fire, so he just keeps stacking up. Yeah, see, there's another hit. That one really scared me, because we're down to around health now after 2 bombs. 20 damage, 38. So yeah, it doesn't take much past this to take out even a brick shit house like Miss Kitty. Spawn bomb. That one's real far away too. I don't know if Miss Kitty's got the distance necessary to get there. Yeah, that one. There we go. That's the 3rd hit. Down to 20. No, sorry. 18? Are we down to 18 at that point? That's actually kind of nuts. 14, excuse me. All right, got another one out. Oh, the fire. I forgot to calculate the fire too. See right here. Boom. Over. If that fire didn't take effect when it did, that was the run right there. But yeah, right here we get another level up, level 7. So you're looking at passive upgrade. This one I wanted to go for a charisma, get some early charisma use, but then I realized WrestleManiac gives me that additional move, right? On top of a free toss. So that's just extra damage. It also makes it so you can toss the unit anywhere, including on top of other units. So that's just great value. Consider Sniper. That one... If I had chosen Sniper, I think that would have been a huge mistake right here. But yeah, I definitely got WrestleManiac. I don't know why this asshole's taking so long to decide on it. There we go. Rightio. And then we're off to the sewers. I don't know if I could have handled a junkyard on Psychosis. A solo junkyard run, probably doable, but not with Psychosis. Not the game controlling it. Maybe it is. I don't know. The game surprises me, that's for sure. I think this is the match where I realized I should start putting a little effort into my first turns. So after I did nothing here, I realized I could have used the GT on the Harpoon just to get that extra health and bonus damage. So again, bit of a misplay, but I wasn't to the point yet that I thought this was even going to work, so I wanted to try out some stuffs. You know, try to let it run on its own. Little suplex into the pipe, looking good. Then a chew. The chew, when I pulled chew though, that was the real nuts right there. Get a little healing off. Really keeps the run going. And then let's see here. A little suplex action, that's where it's at. Technology, oh yeah, gotta love it. Nice long line too. That's one of those satisfying technology uses. I really wish, see, there's the upgraded toss coming into play. Extra kill on top of that just from a single toss. All for free too, off of the WrestleMania. Or WrestleManiac, I think it is, the name of that passive. But yeah, actually quick win that time. 3-rounder. I had to make some decisions here. I really start leaning into luck. the value of being able to get like an early crit and taking something out strong, or, you know, first turn, is so strong. Got a little sandstorm raging too. It is what it is, you know? You can't fight the weather. You can fight giant shit monsters, but you cannot fight the weather. That's for sure. I think that's actually in the Art of War by Sun Tzu. If I'm not mistaken. It's been a minute since I've read it. I haven't actually ever read it. I assume that's in there though. But yeah, here's where I actually bother to put a little effort into that first turn and try to set up Miss Kitty for success, you know? Start with the GT, get that extra damage, get a little health going, little trample to get some more damage going. And then I didn't use... Oh, because I didn't want to use the basic attack. That's right, because I wanted to keep the thorns up, especially with the leech dashing around. Oh, the 2 leeches, my god. See, that setup I did paid off really well. Also, just noticed the little combo that the water kitties have with the water leeches. There you go, just suplexing a leech, as one should. The chew, just chewing up that poor little kitty and then throwing its corpse at a boomer. Miss Kitty doesn't play around, man. She's got nothing but death and destruction in her eyes. You can tell by the human face that she's wearing. She supplied that herself. I didn't give that to her. She brought that from home. But yeah, this one takes a little longer. This might be when I start to realize that I'm having some issues with catching up to enemies, right? Some stuff gets kind of spread out sometimes. And, you know, the AI has some trouble figuring out how to get that damage on. It always wants to attack, but it can't always reach. Here, I deliberate for a little bit, but I think Sniper was the answer from the get-go. And like I said, I hadn't fully leaned into luck, but on my previous stat up choices, luck was looking pretty good compared to some of the other ones. But yeah, I even briefly considered switching out the passives, but the passive options weren't even all that good, so definitely felt like a better choice was to go for the upgraded passive that I already have. Events, like I said, at this point I'm just clicking the green and moving on with life, and it pays off here and there. It really truly does. But then we're gonna go on to the next combat. This is the second the second mini boss fight. And again, I'm getting kind of worried, you know? Taking out the easy basic combats, that's really no business. That's nothing. That's light work. You can do that with your eyes closed. I actually fell asleep once as I was playing Mewgenics, and I think I won a combat. Or died horribly, I can't remember. I'll have to look into it, see what that save was. But yeah, King Grat, I think I would have preferred to fight Flushmaster this time around, if I had an option. Just because I could easily, you know, I could see it not being that big of a deal to run into stuff, you know? This thing where it's spawning a bunch of enemies and taking extra turns and all that, it looks scary. But the funny thing is, it's done in 3 rounds. So, I would have been wrong to choose Flushmaster. Or maybe it would have been faster, I really don't know. But yeah, Rat King was gone in a flash. Now we're to the kind of crappier level ups, where it's all just stat ups. It's also kind of interesting to note that if you do have an extra passive, it gives you an opportunity to upgrade it. Rare Candy, once again. Even though it's just a basic stat up, a 1+, it's still well worth it. Alright, moving on. Tracy's a true gem. This is where I got kind of cocky. I thought, you know, things are going well. Might as well give a shot to the hard path, you know what I mean? I don't know if that was the right choice. It was certainly a choice I made in a run that had very few choices available. I chose quite possibly one of the poorest ones. Between this and not taking goad early on, I think those are the two big mistakes I made. At least, you know, as far as my decision making on the run goes. I think Miss Kitty made a few wrong choices as well, but, you know, I'm not about to tell her that. Have you seen the shit she's doing? That's a human face on her face. She doesn't play. She will suplex your ass in a second. Give you that sweet chin music. But yeah, just taking out the trash, if you know what I mean. That technology was a bit of a waste on a water kitty, but it's fine. It's fine. We couldn't really do much else besides that. Oh, this is the round where I was really, like, getting a little concerned about speed. The big river in the middle of this fight really makes it hard for Miss Kitty to, you know, close the distance with enemies. And it really starts to cause some issues. The floaters especially. Their little dash attack and then run away maneuver, it kind of makes it a little difficult to catch up and get stuff done. Once again, though, the WrestleManiac, that was a huge draw, by the way. Getting that as the passive. Having that upgraded and getting that extra move off of it just makes such a huge difference. 2 moves to get stuff done. Oh, this one also continuously spawns. Doesn't continuously spawn, but water kittens keep popping up, and that's another issue. Luckily, the sandstorm's dealing with a lot of the little dips. I think that would have been another major issue had that continue to happen. Luckily, luck was on the side, and that event gave me something useful. Imagine if it was like zombies or something, spawning constant additional enemies to fight. Would have been an absolute wreck. But yeah, sometimes RNGesus looks down upon you and smiles. Again, basic stat ups. Sometimes I deliberate. See, I hovered over speed because I was like, man, we need to move. I ended up going speed. Okay, yeah. I just needed that little extra, like, movement. I needed to be able to cross the board a little easier. Yep. Checking out my box. Always excited about furniture. This was another huge get. Getting Satan on a run where I don't really lose anything. And then here is where I got a little goofy with it. Technology's not doing much, right? 4 damage at this point when my suplex is doing like 60 plus. It's not huge. So with Soul Jar, and you can read what it does there if you pause, whatever. I 99.9% sure it doesn't work the way I thought it did, or I was hoping it would at the time. But if your cat dies when it has Soul Jar, that item gets returned, and the cat becomes a ghost that you can summon using the Soul Jar, right? I was hoping that once Miss Kitty dies on this run, that it would be returned to the house. But I just don't think that's the case. I think you still have to have a party return, make it all the way back to the house with a Soul Jar in hand. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I would not be surprised if I was wrong, but I put the Soul Jar on. It was a bad move. 3 mistakes. I will admit to 3 mistakes on the run. In a run where I had very few decisions. Yeah. The leeches get really scary too, especially a champion leech that just keeps running loops on me. The extra little bit of thorns helps a little, but really we're looking rough at this point. 20 HP, and then we take a bite out of the leech, and we're looking way better. The GT is always a great, and then throw in the corpses. I really appreciate that the game genuinely tries to use everything it can every time it goes. It's an interesting concept, and one you should probably take to heart. Be aggressive, you know what I mean? You got to get in there, just start bashing heads. It's the way to success in this game. There you go, another 3-rounder on the hard path. On the second combat on the hard path, right? So, I think, is that all the combats for before the boss? Stat ups, once again. Oh, do I go intelligence here? Because I need another speed up to get an additional movement. Oh, okay, I consider constitution too. Yeah, I should have gone speed up there, because when I took the first speed, I did not get another speed up. I know what it was. It's because I got down so low on health. Here's me once again, considering what I discussed with the soul jar. I don't think it works how I want to. I even consider putting the technology back. Oh, I do put technology back on. My word. Nope, then I put the soul jar back on. That's what I did. I said, fuck it, probably gonna lose no matter what. Might as well see if this works. And it probably doesn't. Get a little hungry here. We see a cat corpse and end up with the necrophage disorder. Got a special propensity for corpses now. More cushion for the pushing. Miss Kitty does not play. So yeah, Boris, yet another big challenge. Coming into this with half health. It's looking scary. It's looking like we're gonna test out the soul jar theorem real quick. But, you know, I get my first turn. I want to get that GT in, get that bonus damage, get that bonus health, all that good stuff. So, it was well worth it. Like I said, I really wanted to put a little more effort into that opener. So I got the chew in. And then I didn't use the basic attack. For the reason of wanting to get those extra thorns, especially against Boris. You know, it's not much, 1 damage, but... You know, to skip a turn to get that 1 damage, I was scared there. I hovered over to see where Miss Kitty's health is. But yeah, then coming in strong with a 56 damage crit. And then a little GT action, extra healing. And then her movement plays into it really strong. It gets a little distance from Boris. So we're not constantly taking trample damage. That was really good. Oh, we even got a little help from the water too. That's nice. But yeah, Boris is really scary. We're down to 12, but then we get a huge critical back up to 50. Really paid off to have that extra luck here. I usually don't focus too hard on luck. I don't mess around with criticals on an average run. But I felt like we need a little luck on our side here, and it paid off dividends. Took out Boris in 4 rounds. Not bad for the computer doing it on its own. Got a couple trash items, you know, that is what it is. I believe luck here, yep, click on the luck, you know you want to. Alright, then we're heading into the caves, looking solid. Looking real good out there. We're skipping into the next battle. Here, I think I started to get a little hope. If we cleared Boris, then the sky's the limit. You know, you only have one big boss after this. So yeah, I was once again being real careful with my first move, getting to that GT use in. I was concerned that the skulls were gonna remove my items. I haven't had that happen yet, but I know that is a part of their mechanics, destroying your items, and I did not want to run into it. Losing any of those carefully curated items would have been devastating to the run. But Miss Kitty makes good use of the boulders, takes out the first one. Going for the wet hairball on the bats. And that one was, again, certainly a decision. But here is where the thorns pay off. Thorns are huge versus these bats. Because, I mean, they're hard to hit. They've got, what, 50% dodge chance? Which isn't too bad for Miss Kitty. She's pretty damn lucky. Not super lucky on the confusion or the hits. Can't win them all. But having thorns on your cats against these bats, they just take care of business themselves. Nice. Good. Got the confusion pass and the hit. Oh, a little small slime. I don't know if I really paid attention to the fact that there's small slimes in the starting area. Yep, punch in the face. That gets bad. Not a whole lot of heal. Oh, because the bat only had a little bit of healing left. A little bit of health. And then, again, the small slime only had a little bit of life. But there you go. Around 4 for the first move on the caves. Got some items. Let me see here. We're going considering Constitution, but we go luck, I believe. Yep. Yep. Luck is the way to go. Yeah, the crits absolutely saved the run. No question. Found some hairball on the floor. Might as well eat it. You know, what am I going to do? Not eat it? Don't be ridiculous. That's absurd. But got a little healing from that. Then we're on to the next combat. More bats, right? And the bats at this point, I feel we already have it done. There's the stats on the items if you care to pause and check it out. But yeah, with the item or with the bats, I feel like we've already got that. We've proven ourselves against bats. Here I wasn't trying to hit the bat. That wasn't a misplay. I was just trying to get the GTA use. What really concerned me are the I don't remember their names. Brain Boys, Brain Blasters. Those things had me actually a little afeared. I'll be honest with you. I had no clue if there was going to be enough of them. Brain Drain, that's their name. I had no clue if they were going to be able to take it out. They don't miss. They fire a little magic missile. So they have infinite range. I've got confusion, so they can just keep running from me. Yep, they're going to counter all my moves as I do things. Or excuse me, not as I do things, as Miss Kitty does things. So it really, really looks like that this one might be the next end. I've tried to think was she low on life here? Go ahead and use your turn. I want to see what her life total is. Round 3. Oh, 33 life. She's still looking good. And 136 damage on a crit. Suplex the living hell out of that bat. Those counters really, really hurt. And then the confusion on top of it. Luckily, the GT is juiced up enough now that, yep, big punch to the face. Yeah, okay. So 33 health was not enough. This might actually genuinely be the end of it. Especially with the confusion and the face punches. It's non-stop. On top of the counter spell, down to 3 health. And then bow. And then a toss. Can we do it? There it is. But coming out of this combat with 14 health was not my idea of a good time. I genuinely thought, that's it. That's the run. So in the spirit of that, I picked up stem cells a while back. You may saw it pop up after a combat. But I went ahead and equipped it. Figured, you know, on my first turn, I can make use of it. Then I go into this event, right? We've got good luck. We might get a little something out of this. Guess what? It's a full heal and an all stats up. Actual nuts RNG. I'm actually starting to wonder if they don't kind of put their finger on the scales behind the scenes. I know they've mentioned before about some situations. In drafting, I hear that if you don't have any movement abilities yet, then the game tries to offer you at least one movement ability. And if you're not rocking with a movement ability, unless it's a certain circumstance, you're probably going to want to pick that up. Movement is super important. I've already talked earlier about how I wanted to up Miss Kitty's speed so she can cross the battlefield and get some work done. And also the bonus movement from the upgraded WrestleManiac. Very fitting, actually, WrestleManiac. But yeah, it's definitely, you definitely want to get that movement. You want good positioning. You want to be able to make the big moves you need to make when you need to make them. But yeah, it's starting off strong with a 60 damage crit, following it up with a 36 damage and more 36 damage, a GT for 28, a toss for 1. I don't know why Miss Kitty chose not to throw it onto an enemy. That's kind of weird. That's the only time I think she does that. That's really strange. I don't know if I even noticed this on the original watch here. But yeah, look, some more suplexes, really just putting in the work on these little slime boys. Absolutely chewing through them. And then once again, I wonder if there's something stopping Miss Kitty from throwing it slimes onto other slimes. Maybe something about how they spawn more slimes. There's like an issue there, so they made sure you couldn't. I could see that happening. But yeah, then we're getting into it. Another suplex, followed by a chew. Big 40 damage chew. Not getting a whole lot of life from it, of course. I also really... This one was really good for just building up damage, right? Not that that really matters, because they only have 4 life, but those numbers go crazy by the end of this. A 12 damage up? Nuts. Absolute nuts. Not the highest I've seen, of course, but... Oh my god. But, keep in mind, I'm not doing shit. The game's playing it. It's an actual idle game at this point. I don't even know if I need to take that first turn anymore. I could probably just let it run. And the game would do what it needs to. Another big suplex. I don't think I had any real concerns on this fight, really. I mean, from the get-go, just tearing things apart. I will say the game did a good job about reducing enemy numbers and not getting overwhelmed. I've actually gotten to that point on not fully overwhelmed, but I've at least once not taking care of the small slimes as I kill the big slimes, and kind of had a lot on my plate by the end of the match. But yeah, round 7 here, it took a while, but in all honesty, really not a hard fight. Here, please get the speed, although you already got the speed up to 12 anyway, so I think I go strength. Intelligence might be a good pick too. Oh, nope, I went for intelligence, yeah. Yeah, my second choice was the go-to on that one. Here, once again, it's still just a single level up, but always get your rare candy. That luck can come in the clutch when you need it the most. Now here was a genuinely difficult decision. I really, really, really want to go hard mode and get extra furniture and all that. The problem is, the last time I tried to do a solo tank run through the caves, when I went hard mode, it fell apart. I got too cocky. I was doing great too. I honestly think I had it if I didn't overextend on the late game. But here I made the wise decision to keep it easy. And I definitely think I was best off doing so. At this point, like I said, bat's not a problem. The big fella, we've been chewing through bosses like it's not an issue. So once again, not concerned about how this one's going to go down. But still, all that said, you still go for your peak efficiency, get your GT in there. And then I also wanted to pick up that big catnip, get a little additional health going. I just felt like it was worth it. Maybe get a couple more wet hairballs for good measure from Miss Kitty here. Really loves those things, man. She just does not stop with them. Mega fetus, that's what those are called. I had some concerns too about the stalactites falling. There we go. Take them down. And then a miss. It happens, it happens. Shit, they also run away too. I forgot about that bit of them. There's the wet hairballs. Perfect. Super important we get some of those in. There you go. Finishing yourself on the thorns. The thorns, even though I only ended up with 1 stack of thorns throughout the run, I think the thorns really made a difference, like here, and like I said, with like Boris. Didn't really help too much with the leeches, because they'd still got a lot of healing off of me. So that wasn't really an issue. Or that didn't really help much there, but for the bats alone, it was worth the thorns. Alright, once again, we get another level up. A little simple level up to level 19. Man, to think I could have got an extra level if I had gone hard mode. Actually put it to the max. I wonder if that's an achievement, getting max leveled. Here I was just trying to think with the mana allotments, if I could, get some extra moves out of it. A couple of bear traps. Oh, it's bear trap weather. I was wondering why there's some bear traps at the last fight. I completely missed out. Toxic canister, pretty solid. At this point I was thinking, with Chew, I can heal myself pretty easily, so I don't have to worry. The thorns wouldn't do too much. Old Gal has trample, but, again, 1 damage isn't doing a whole lot. Not when I'm doing buku damage with our crits on the suplex. I got real greedy. I saw the hummingbird. This is where my hubris may just have been my downfall. I saw a hummingbird, a rare bird, which, if you didn't know, the rarer the bird, the better the loot. That's an old adage, of course, but it holds true here, and I got blinded by the opportunity to get a rare bird. But yeah, I pulled it off, threw the rare bird right at her, and that's how I used my one turn I get against the boss, was going after something, a rare kill, when I could have, you know, actually finished it. But hopefully that wasn't too much of an issue. We're still cooking. You know, it's not that scary. 10 damage, what's 10 damage? I got 60 some HP. Now, the issue is I get webbed pretty bad. And by I do mean Miss Kitty. She's the one doing the business. But Wet Hairball coming into the clutch with 2 damage. Look at that. Wet Hairball just actually putting in the work. Imagine if I had Goad and I could have actually done something instead. But no. My dumbass took Eat Rock. I really thought it was just going to be good for like a little defensive measure, a little bit of sustain, but no. it did not pay off. So Goad might have been the decision there. And if you are ever in this situation, take Goad. Really though, I just hoped for anything that would make them stop using Wet Hairball. I think the wild thing is too, it kind of calmed down after a little bit there. But then I got to the boss and just wet hairballing the whole time. Not only is it wet hairballing, it's also making it so that it continuously spawns little spiders for 2 damage that I'm doing. So the wet hairball really fucked me. I'll be honest. It was not helping at all. But luckily we got that killed. We got the big chew damage. Got full heal out of it. I feel like we're back on it now, right? Like we might have a shot. And then I get webbed again. And then I'm getting scared. The webbing means I can't do that attack. I can't get a potential large hit off. And could lose the run after getting so far. What? Oh, there was a single spider down there. The wet hairball absolutely just ruined this run. We have about half health though. Half health with 5 rounds in. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. A second spider spawn, that's really devastating there, if you ask me. But there's one down. The toss again. It did a toss at nothing. I don't know why. Why it chose not to do an attack on that. I don't know. It did a really good job of doing the toss damage elsewhere, but here at the end, for some reason, it just chose not to toss at the boss. I don't know. Maybe it only chooses to do it if it guarantees a kill or something? I don't know. Very strange behavior, though. Suplex, got to get that 50 damage on that 2 health spider. It's super, super important. Luckily, only had the 1 spider spawn this time. Big chew. Big GT. A single toss. She's stunned. She can't move, and she gets poisoned to death. There you have it. Can you believe it? Miss Kitty has to clean up a little bit. Got stuck on a spider web, trying to kill the last spider. A bit of embarrassing into it, but yeah, absolutely demolished. Took the caves out. But yeah, this is a super exciting match. You know, for the fact that I didn't do anything, I was really impressed that it managed to end it. But yeah, I wanted to share that with everybody. Let you check it out. Be sure to check out my Twitch. I'm doing more of my playthrough. I just beat the core last night and looking to get some more done. I really, really appreciate everybody checking it out. And I hope you all have a good day and a better tomorrow.